Welcome back, extraterrestrials, to the X-Files franchise breakdown. Alrighty, this is episode 3. It's called Squeeze. The synopsis is Mulder and Scully search for a humanoid killer whose savage murder spree reoccurs every 30 years. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
In this episode, they are basically... This is the first time we see the creature feature of the week, the monster of the week.
Monster of the week, yeah.
We get one pretty much every week throughout the series, and this is the first one. They're not quite standalone episodes, but they kind of are at the same time. In this one, Mulder and Scully are... Scully is brought onto a case by the dad from Grounded for Life.
Does this look like the work of Little Green Man?
Gray.
Excuse me?
You said green man. A reticulant skin tone is actually gray.
And
Basically.
she brings Mulder on.
Yeah.
And this is the first time you get a look at how everybody else in the FBI views Mulder.
Yes.
The guy is reluctant to have Mulder on the case, but does so because he keeps saying how good of an agent Scully was, but I think he's just in love with her. But anyways, they're basically tracking a killer who commits 5 murders every 30 years.
Yes. Well, not even that and stuff. It's just that he's killed 3 people so far. At the beginning of the episode, he's killed 3 people, and there's no entrance, no break-in, no way of this person being able to get in, and the only thing he's done is rip their liver from their corpse.
Right.
That's all they have to go on.
Yeah.
They wanted Scully to come in and do what do you call it when just not an observation, but
She joined the task force.
yeah, like
Essentially, she's just a part of the think tank on this episode.
a synopsis of who we might be looking for.
Oh, okay,
What's
like
that?
a profile.
Yeah, profile.
They want her to profile this person.
Yeah.
This show aired on September 12th, right?
No, I didn't. That's funny.
Yeah, it's definitely September.
Yeah.
All right, so they're looking for this killer, Jerry.
Basically, yeah. The FBI.
I agree.
Yeah, the FBI agent that asked Scully to come on, he keeps honing in. This is my case. This is my case. Kind of pointing his finger and does not like Mulder.
Yeah.
Mulder explains that because I have an X-file from 1910 or 1913.
Well, the first one was 1903.
Yeah,
and then
1903.
33, then 63.
Yeah.
And then 93.
Every 30, yeah. And Mulder explains that he has the same thing. He has an X-Files case. They find a fingerprint on a small little vent, and he finds a fingerprint. It's 10 inches long. That couldn't be possibly a human fingerprint.
Right.
But Mulder knows because he has the fingerprints of the original murders from 33 and 63 on the X-File database system. Mulder tries to explain to this guy, and you're just spooky Mulder. You're spooky Mulder. And this guy is trying to break up, basically, Mulder and Scully. Scully, why you hang out with that creepy guy down in the basement? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And...
He's a real jerk in this episode.
Yeah, he's just...
And I really like that actor.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
Riff Raff is dick. He's Riff Raff, man. But I think the most important thing about this episode is Mulder tells Scully, you don't have to do this.
Right.
You can be reassigned.
Yeah.
They asked you to do this for the X-Files, and I think Scully really, this is where she understands that, no, I'm in it for the long, you make sense, you know?
Yeah, she definitely comes across, I don't want to say motherly, but in that realm, because when she sees the way he is treated and the way he is really viewed. In episode 1, she makes the quick joke in the office when she's being assigned that they call him Spooky.
Spooky Mulder.
And in this episode, she sees their animosity towards him in action, and she kind of recoils from them, like, oh, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be as legitimate as he would like it to be, but there is legitimacy. And you know what? He's cooler than you guys anyways.
Yeah.
Look at that hair.
And it turns into an apprehension of somebody. They don't know who this character is, but he's wandering around the vents, and they apprehend him. They give him a lie detector test, and Mulder just throws in some questions.
Yeah, 2 questions.
Yeah, 2 questions. Are you 100 years old, I think, one, and did you have anything to do with, did you do any, have involvement with a murder that was done in 33? And he lied. He lied completely on those 2 questions. But he passed everything else. What the regular cops said, because he could trick that, but he couldn't trick what he truly knew was, you know, to be real, because the other FBI's got it wrong. And I think that this is where, you know, they let the guy go because he didn't obviously do this.
Yeah.
Mulder and Scully then investigate. They go through old papers and they find the original cop on the 33 investigating team. They go to speak to this old man, and they're just asking him regular questions. He has bad feelings about this place that he investigated with this character. And he's like, yeah, in 63, I took a picture of him. And they hand him the picture, and it happens to be the same guy. That really is intense. I mean, you know, they even say it probably doesn't look the same now, but... And Scully's like, it could be his grandkid. It's just like, you could be fucking kidding me, Scully.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. It's the same fingerprints.
We see her look to science and logic to answer questions by saying it could be his grandkid. That would explain why he looks like that, and they would explain why these fingerprints match. But obviously, we know you're not going to have the exact same thing. There might be similarities, but these are 100% exact matches. And I don't know why she clings to it. I mean, that's a good thing in her character throughout the series, but I mean, you've been given evidence on a platter, and you're still like, but, you know. And I think when she does it to Mulder, he's still like, but there's also, you know, so.
Yeah, I know. Where did I go with this one? Another thing that this episode does differently than the previous 2 episodes is we actually see for ourselves. We know that this guy that was apprehended, we see him do the next murder. We know as an audience member, this is your guy. We see the whole thing. But yet we are still watching the FBI go, no, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know? And so Mulder and Scully, they go and find this place that apparently the guy's address. We go there, and it's just this shitty ass room in Baltimore, you know.
Yeah,
nothing in it.
Abandoned building.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah. And we find a hole in a wall that leads down a tunnel. Now, one of the most badass moments is Mulder just looks at the hole, and Scully's like, come on, motherfucker, we're going down this hole.
Yep.
And they go down it, and they find this giant, I don't know, just a wall built of newspaper and, like, I think she says towels and bile. And they start to understand that Mulder says maybe he's a genetic mutant that can lower his metabolism to hibernate.
Yeah.
You know, this character, Toombs, his last name's Toombs, right? Yeah. He takes little trinkets from his victims. He has a nice little display of all his shit he's stolen. Liver thief. You liver thief. All this stuff. And I guess he possesses those trinkets, you know, like covets them, you know, like they're mine.
Yeah, they're little trophies.
And all this guy needs is just one more liver at this point in the episode. And Scully gets her necklace taken. And so we know, as an audience member,
She's the next target.
she's the next target.
And that was his fatal mistake.
Yeah. Because Scully's a badass.
Yes.
You don't fuck with Scully.
I like how quickly she knew. Like, you know, in horror movies, we've seen this scene before in horror movies, where you're looking for a bloody murderer and the blood drips down on the hand from the ceiling and they go, huh? What? Wait, where did that go? Is that my blood?
Ew!
Yeah. And in this scene, the bile from Eugene Toombs drips down on her hand, and she fucking split second, she is running for her gun.
Fucking
There
hauls
was
ass.
no dumb girl like, oh, what is this? Could it be part of? No. She took action immediately, and that's what saved her life.
Yeah.
If she would have fumbled or been like, ew, what is that? Or did I just sneeze? Or, you know, anything, she'd have been dead.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Mulder would have still arrived at the same time, but she wouldn't have been able to put up as good of a fight, I don't believe.
Yeah, he got there quick, even
Yeah,
though, like...
yeah, he was miles and miles away.
Yeah,
but,
he was downtown Baltimore and got there in, like, 10 flat, you know?
Yeah, he was in downtown Baltimore and got to fucking Quantico real fast.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, the episode, again, is the first monster episode of the week, and it starts out with a bang.
Yeah.
It's a creative monster. I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. This episode opens up with Eugene Toombs, the murderer, watching his first victim, or his third victim at this point, from a sewer. And it pans into the sewer, and you see two eyes glowing. I don't know if you caught earlier that we say he has a kill cycle of every 30 years. If this is starting to sound like somebody else, you know, we see it's Pennywise. Like, you know, because the sewer, the eyes glowing every 30 years. And at one point when they're interviewing the old sheriff guy, he says he walked into that crime scene and he could feel it. Yeah. So they I don't even know if it was an intentional thing, but they alluded to it a lot in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it might have been like you know, what do you call them? Homage.
Yeah.
Or they could have just not thought about it at all. They're obviously not saying that this is Pennywise in any form, but they make a lot of references to it.
Obviously, the last two episodes that we talked about, they dealt with UFOs, aliens, government conspiracy. Mm-hmm. This is the first one that strays off of that, and they need to come up with a new idea. So they're like, well, let's take some of those iconic elements from horror movies. Mm-hmm. You know, further down the line, we'll start doing it with more just like your regular serial killer, your crazy person, you know. But this one, they were just like, what if it was this idea? And, you know, I mean, compared to the TV show, the TV movie, the Tim Curry one and stuff, it's actually more put together where they go, okay, here's all the pieces instead of like, I don't know, we got Tim Curry, we got a clown costume, fucking do whatever, guys.
Hey, Frankenfurter, can you crawl down there in that sewer real quick?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I think we've covered the episode somehow.
No, there's one more. Okay. At the end of the episode, when they finally they caught Toombs,
right.
Okay, and they found out, well, what is he? Yes, he does have a slow metabolism that makes him hibernate. Yes, he does have an unusual bone structure where he can unhinge. He's not a monster. He's a human being that actually just is genetically made like this.
Well, okay, so that brings up. Sorry to cut you off because I know where you're going, and we'll go right back to it. When people give birth to children, they come out jaundice. The skin becomes yellow, the eyes become yellow. Do you think that that's why his eyes were changing? Because he needs the liver. And jaundice is part of, like, your liver not working properly.
I don't know. I know
because
liver
you
regenerates.
He's human, you know? So he's a human, but so why does he change back and forth from that, like, yellow-eyed, monster back to, like, this human, like... Remember, because when they caught him, he attacked Scully, and that's how they catch him.
Yeah.
They they handcuff him to the bathtub.
Yeah.
And he goes from yellow-eyed to black-eyed, like human being, and he just goes...
He's not going to get his quota this year.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm caught. It's over. But
because it's scary. It's spooky as if you just had some crazy... No.
Well, you did answer my other question, because my one question that I was going to ask you was, did you find him scary?
Yes. Yeah, the idea and the premise of this character, I think that it's just well done. I mean, yeah, it has a lot of similarities with the character of It,
right.
Like you said. But I think this just takes those elements that are really good and just goes, okay, this is filler, and we can't make him a clown, so we'll just make him this character. And just having a regular guy who... it could be anybody.
Right.
Could be anybody. I mean, the cops arrested him and turned him away. No, that's not the guy we're looking for.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? That's freaky. The best part is the old man that originally investigated him, who never had a chance to go full circle of, discovering these murders, investigating all these years, finally reads... the newspaper found out that this character was apprehended, and it's the same photo that he took, the same guy from '63 that he happened to take a photo. And I thought that was just a nice full circle.
Yeah, it definitely wraps it up with a bow.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little emotional.
Yeah.
Because the old man starts to cry because he finally, he said that he's lived in fear all these years because of that, and now he can, rest easy. I guess he can sleep at night and only fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
Because Eugene has been caught.
No plot twist. The old man is one of them too. That's why he can exist in 33 and 93 at the same time.
And welcome to Uncle Jerry's Conspiracy Corner.
Nah, this ain't a conspiracy. This is just a rant. That motherfucker was on a police department in 1933, and he's in an old folks' home in 19...
I don't think he was on the police department in 33.
Yeah, because he said, I investigated in 33,
No,
and in
he said
63 it was retirement.
He worked on a case in 63. He looked back to a case at 33, just like Mulder had done, but Mulder started in 93, looked back 63, 33, 03.
Yeah, it's okay. It's monsters, guys. Write whatever you want. Who gives a shit?
All right.
We got a guy eating livers. So.
Well, that's episode 3.
Yep.
Squeeze. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your theories are. Did you think that this was essentially it? And let us know who was right in that thing, because he thinks he was in the police force in 33. That it made him 90 years old. Or over 90 years old.
Over 90 years old. It would have made him over 100 years old,
Yeah,
because no one joins the police force at 5.
I mean, maybe he just fell out of his mom's vagina in
I
a
was,
police
I
uniform.
was a junior detective, and I caught this. I was trying to catch this murderer.
All right, that's it for this episode, guys. Let us know which episode you're looking forward to. We're going in chronological order, so it may be a while before we get there. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.